Hey guys, I heard you are working out with the school, and there were a couple of things that I thought were important to show you from a standpoint of some of the basic stuff when it comes to a squat. It's a very basic exercise, and it's important that you guys have some basic cues so that you can do it appropriately. And the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is proper bracing of your upper body. There are a lot of different cues that you can use in order to properly brace for a squat. But the biggest one, and I think the one that's easiest for you at your age, is your shoulder blades. So when you go to squat, when you have the bar in your hand, you want to bring your shoulder blades and tuck them back. So I'm trying to put the bottom of my shoulder blades in my pocket, in my back pocket. So I'm bracing here. And if you get this braced down appropriately, it allows you to set up on the bar. And you know, the biggest thing when it comes to squatting and deadlifting and a lot of exercises is that you don't want your lower back to bend. You want to keep your lower back as straight as possible. And it's very difficult if my shoulder blades are tucked like they are here for my lower back to collapse. It's very difficult. I can't really bend my lower back, but as soon as I go here, I can bend. But as soon as I put those shoulder blades tucked, it's going to bring that lower back straight again. So it's important because the truth is that almost all exercises that you do, whether it's your squat, your deadlift, your bench, even an overhead press or curls, you're still going to use that same tucked position, because I'm going to press here, I'm going to press here, I'm going to pull here, right? All of my movements are still going to have that same tucked position. So that's a very fundamental part of overall training, and safely keeps your lower back straight. And we don't have to worry about talking through core bracing at this point, because fundamentally those things are developed as you go through this. But tucking your shoulder blades is going to allow you to keep that lower back tight and allow for good positioning. The other piece is when you get the bar, there's a couple different locations where you can put the bar. You can put it low on your traps and shoulders like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to be more hamstrings and glutes. But for you guys, what I would say is I would focus on a more high bar squat, which is where you have it up higher on your back like this, still shoulder blades tucked, and you know, you're pulling the bar into your shoulders. Now I know that you're not going to have all this meat in here, so you got to use one of those pads. I don't have one to show you with, but most of the gyms have those pads. I remember when I was young, I didn't like the bar on my neck. Even a towel was actually what I used when I was younger. I would just wrap a towel around the bar, and then I could have a little bit of padding there instead of it just being right on my neck. But you want to have it up on your shoulders like this. And remember, it's easy. High bar builds strength, low bar shows off strength. So try to stay with the high bar squats. The other thing I forgot to mention was head position. So when you set up, remember, tuck your shoulder blades, get the bar up on your shoulders, you're good here. Don't crane your neck and don't tuck your neck down. If you bring your neck down, it makes it harder to keep your shoulder blades where they need to be. Keep your head neutral. What I do is I pick a spot on the wall a lot of times that's about mid section of my belly or between my stomach and chest. I just stare at that the whole time I squat, so that when I go down, my head stays where it needs to be, and I can come back up. We'll talk about foot placement. So for foot placement, general rule of thumb is to have your feet about shoulder width apart, but I find that it's better to just test where your natural power position is, and one way that I like to do it is step on a small box. You can do it from a step, just in the house. But basically jump off and find out where your feet are and your knees are. And that gives you a general idea of where your strongest positioning is as from your squat stance. The other thing you can do is the one step into a jump position. So in an athletic stance, and this is where you're getting ready to jump, and this is your foot placement. And if I look down, I can see that it's about the same as what it was when I jumped off the box, so it's a good place to start. With that said, when you have your foot placement kind of figured out, make sure that when you squat, you're not letting your knees collapse in, so you're not squatting in like this. You're rotating your knees out, so I'm going to rotate them out. Not crazy to where my feet come up, but just enough where I feel the tension in the side of my shoe. So as my foot is pressing on the side of my shoe, it's not rotating them up, it's just that little bit of tension that keeps my knees to track over my toes. So when I squat down, I'm good and stable. Like if somebody came over and pushed me, I can react, I can move, I'm good and stable here. And I want to come all the way down to here and keep my shoulder blades tucked and come back up. Now, this is just a general idea, so you're going to have to play with where you're comfortable. When we were doing some air squats and stuff on some of the earlier workout sessions, I felt like you guys were kind of uncomfortable, maybe coming a little bit over your toes. And, it's not very stable, or maybe you're coming too far back. You don't want to lose your balance. You want to be able to be in a position where the whole way down, if somebody was to push you either forward or backwards, you're in a position where you can react, because sometimes that bar wants to shift a little bit and you need to be able to compensate. And if you're off balance to begin with, it's impossible to kind of catch yourself. So here, remember your shoulder blades are tucked here, and you can come back up. One thing is, at your ages, strength is easy. You can always get stronger throughout your life, but this is a prime period of time where you're going to build strength easily, but you also will never have the opportunity as you do now, as your body matures, to develop speed. So all things considered, weights are the least of priorities. So body weight movements, air squats, lunges, all your wrestling drills, push-ups, pull-ups, those type of things are going to build, your body connection and build overall strength. But you should be doing a lot of explosive drills, jumps. Just you can do them on your mom's stairs. Even broad jumps are great. Find something heavy and shot put it and throw it. Try to do your lifts explosively, but don't grind. Just try to build explosive strength. And remember, tuck that shoulder blade and don't round your back. And we'll talk through some explosive exercises another time. But miss you guys, and I hope to talk to you soon.